Yo, people, welcome back to another episode of the Football Heritage. Me, your boy Josh, Carl, and Ore. Couple man should be rolling through later on, so you man watch out for that. But you man know the usuals. Let's not get too into it, but like, comment, subscribe, and share with your people. But yeah, man, let's get straight into it. So let's not even focus on this weekend. Let's focus on what happened during the midweek and the big Champions League game, because that'll kind of pure right into what happened in this weekend. But let's start with let me just get the game up. There's only one place really to start. Let's just pull it up. Pep, the annual Champions League exit. Annual one. And this one, I can't lie, this one might be the worst one. Because look at when he scored. They were so close. And it's not like a couple years ago, when you have away goals in it and then kind of shifts it. This was like two clear goals to get to extra time, innit? But let me start with Ori. What was your thoughts and emotions when you were seeing this? Like, was it a thing where it's like Pep's messed up, or is this on the players, would you say?
I mean, these kind of things, you kind of have to put it more on the players. There's only so much, I would say, there's only so much like a coach can actually do. And sometimes as a coach, I can imagine it must be like really difficult when you actually can't like the pitch and make actual changes. Like upon all the coaching you can do, upon all the tactics you can do, upon all the plans, formations, there's only so much that you can actually control as a coach. People forget to actually remember that. I don't know, by the 85th, 86th minute, I was already like, in fact, even before then, I was already like, after the Mahrez goal, I was like, okay, City are definitely in the final. I was already, thinking about the possibilities of a City-Liverpool final. I was like, that would be quite interesting. Then by the 89th, I mean, there's no way anyone is possibly thinking that, Real Madrid could potentially pull a comeback. And then they just go and do it. After the first goal, is one of those ones where after you're trailing and then a team, 2-0 is like one result that's very shaky to kind of have, because when you're 2-0 up or like 2 goals, up, you kind of feel very relaxed and you feel comfortable. And then it just takes one goal and then you're, nervous again. And then just by that, once you're nervous, it's easy to score the other one. And then like that, it's level. And that's exactly what happened in this game. I feel like after that first goal went in, City just, broke down and they just couldn't handle, the sustained pressure. And, Rodrigo went to score the second one again. And once you're 2 goals up and a team comes back and scores 2, I would say like if there's a very high possibility you're not going to win that game anyways, because mentality wise it's already broken out. You've already thought you were going to win the game comfortably. You're being dragged back and yeah, they just lost their heads. And I think that's how Diaz gave away the pen, and then obviously Benzema capitalized on that. But yeah, I wouldn't put that down to Pep. I'll put it more down to the players, I'd say. Mentality is just, you need to be doing way better than that in that position. And they just couldn't really. Yeah, I'm still so shocked by it when you actually think about the context of it. But yeah, I think the players should be doing way better in that situation. But yeah, good like comeback from Madrid regardless. I think a lot of people, focus on City, and their annual knockout, but really, really good comeback from Madrid. And yeah, that's really it, to be fair.
You see, what really I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, no, that's it. Is that people don't really look at things in the totality of things, because when you actually look at it, Grealish had 2 big chances. One was a great save by Courtois, and the other was cleared off the line. And people are trying to say, it's Pep's fault, in-game management, all this and that with substitutes. But he brought on Grealish, and Grealish made an impact, and he was unlucky not to score those 2 goals. Any other day, that goal, that probably goes in, one of them goes in. Yeah. And we're talking about I think it was still 1-0 at the time, wasn't it not? When Grealish had the chances, was it not?
Yeah, it was still 1-0, yeah.
So if Grealish scores that 2-0, obviously I know it's ifs, buts, or maybes. We're
It was,
talking about
yeah, but I think at 3-0, the game is definitely
exactly
buried. Yeah. He brought on Grealish to kind of, probably for like finalize, seal off that final, just try and get that final goal. Because definitely, I'm sure as a coach, I'm sure at the back of his mind, it crossed his head too that, Real Madrid could potentially come back. Because when did he bring on Grealish? I don't know, maybe like the 80 something minutes or something like that. Just check the timeline.
Let's see. 78th minute.
78th minute. Yeah, so just like a couple minutes after they scored that goal, he brought on Grealish. And yeah, definitely wanted just would have wanted Grealish to try and create some chances, get another goal in probably. But yeah, it's one of those things that also a lot really about hindsight, and it's probably one of the most annoying, one of my pet peeves about football analysis is that people were praising Ancelotti that he had like the balls to take off Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric. But then again, that's just hindsight, because if they didn't go through, everybody would have been criticizing him and saying, why did he take off Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro altogether? The same way people are on about Pep substitutions. Whereas if they went through, Pep handled it so well, brilliant game management and stuff like that. So it's one of my greatest pet peeves about football, how people always just like, everyone's analysis is always just based on what happens, not actually, whether it's really good or, stuff like that. But yeah, that's it, to be fair.
What about you, Carl? What was going through your mind when you saw the comeback unfolding?
I'll be honest, as much as it was a big shock, if you actually look at the individuals Real Madrid have, it was kind of inevitable that they would win the game, especially after obviously that first goal went in. But in terms of the Pep Guardiola situation, I agree with Ori. I think people are being slightly harsh. I understand obviously the fact that they've been knocked out quite a few times now, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all in terms of direction of where they want to be. But to put the blame on Guardiola, it is very harsh, to be honest, as well. And the game could be wraps. Like, you have to look at the decision making. Mahrez, he's my guy. He's one of my favorite players in the whole league. But that some of the decision making, the game could have been easily over in the first leg, if we're being honest. So a few decision making here and there from the players, So to put the blame totally on Pep, it's right. And I agree with what Ori said, it's hindsight, because again, if Grealish comes on and scores, he's getting all the praises in the world. The whole country's behind him, kind of thing. So it's crazy the quality. They do have that clutch edge over the Man City players, which I thought got them over the line. Because if I'm honest as well, the Man City players, they're built much more for the Prem rather than UCL in terms of the way they play, even the way they play football, the way they can keep the possession-based game, and very comfortable on the ball as well. But in terms of the fast-paced game, they do lack in some aspects, because they can get caught out. As even they've been caught out a few times in other cups as well, like in English cups as well. I agree with Ori. You can't put all the blame on Pep. But obviously, you do have to think now, like, when is it going to come? But I'm pretty sure Denzel might have some other views.
Yeah, Denzel, take it away, man. Take it away. Talk about your boy Le Pep.
Oh, we're talking about Fraudiola. We're talking about Fraudiola. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Just to clarify. Okay. I was gonna go into him, but Carl reminded me of something when he was just talking right there. That is Riyad Mahrez. He was playing against them in the first leg. Even though he bagged in the second leg, if he would have took his chances, City wouldn't be in this position. So I think it would be very harsh to blame it on Pep. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's get into it. So Pep was brought in obviously to make City a top side in Europe, a top team in Europe. And what do you need to be a top team in Europe? You need a Champions League trophy to solidify your spot as the elites in Europe. Obviously, City, they have the Premier League titles. Respect to them. They have there. Is it 5 and 6 years? Very respectable, very respectable. But in terms of the elite in Europe, you need that Champions League to solidify to see. And he hasn't been able to do that as of yet. And he had that sly little dig out. You guys have probably spoken about it, but he had that sly little dig at Klopp saying like, they've only won one Premier League in 30 years or something like that. It's like, it's a bit like, why? It's starting to get a little bit rattled. All the passive aggressiveness is turning into aggressiveness. I like it from Guardiola though. I like that we're seeing the real Guardiola. All this nicey nonsense between Klopp and Pep, I didn't like it. I think Klopp is trying to still do the nicey stuff. Even when they told him about it, he started laughing and all that. I want Klopp to say something like, at least we have a Champions League and you don't. Ooh, something like that, just to spice up a little bit. Guardiola needs to deliver a UCL before he leaves. Like, how many years does he have left on this contract? 2 years? 2 years, right? Yeah. So in that 2 year span, the pressure's on him now. Pressure's on him because we all know that he wants that Champions League trophy.
I think he'll extend it though.
You think he'll extend it?
Yeah.
I don't think he will.
I think he'll add another 2 years.
Because if he said something like, maybe I'm not the manager to take him to the Champions League or something like that in his press conference. I don't like the way he speaks in his press conferences sometimes. It's like, believe in yourself. And you can't complain about backing because he's been backed. The recruitment has been exceptional from City. No one can debate that. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't recruit properly, stinking up at the moment. But they've done well with their recruitment. It's just that final piece to the puzzle. Maybe Haaland might be that. You're probably going to try to talk later. Maybe it might be that for them. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I just don't see him. I feel like it's just not meant to be UCL and Man City. Maybe one day they'll win it, but for now I can keep on trolling them. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's how it is, isn't it? Just keep on trolling them. But I do feel sorry for them because the way it just happened was just so shocking. Like, it wasn't like the other ones where it was like,
I said it was tragic. It was a complete capitulation.
It was tragic. It was tragic. Man.
The thing is, the question is, can you coach mentality? I've always wondered that.
Nah, you can't. It's embedded in the players, to be honest. Like, you have to have something in you, like that spark that can go off at certain times. That's why Man City, the players they've got are built for the Prem, like to win consistent games, game after game after game after game. But when things start going wrong and you start panicking, start being shaky when it's the 90th minute, that's when players are actually tested. And that's why if you look over the GOATs, what we call the GOATs over the time, because of just what they've done in the league, it's what they've done when things are either going wrong or to get the edge in the, like, when it's sudden death, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Drogba.
Yeah, like Drogba, effectively. Yeah.
Another question. I think people were speaking about, is it just in their DNA? Like, big teams like Real Madrid, they have it in their DNA, whether they have a good team or not, whether they have the best team or not. It's in Real Madrid's DNA to just win UCLs and win trophies. I feel like the history of it, I know people say history doesn't matter, but I feel like it came into play when that match happened. I feel like
a mixture of corruption as well too. Just to sprinkle.
How so?
Yeah, you can't tell me Real Madrid have 13 Champions League titles.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And that's it. I thought you were talking about the game itself. Yeah.
But some of the refereeing decisions in
it was a bit sus. Yeah,
it was a bit sus.
Maybe it was a penalty though. It was a penalty.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. But just like a couple fouls here and there, that they were just going Madrid's way. It's kind of like they were giving them momentum in some sort of way.
I don't think you can blame the rest for the capitulation.
I'm not blaming the rest.
There's another one. African corruption. African, the juju.
Oh, the juju man in Tourist juju man in Côte d'Ivoire.
Bro.
Yeah.
I don't mess with the juju. When people, if someone wants you, they'll get you. So that one, you see the juju thing. You gotta be careful.
He needs to visit the village. He needs to go to the village and
100, man. Any other final things we want to mention about the Champions League? I don't think we really care about the Liverpool. Who did they play? Villarreal, on it?
Yeah. No, but Liverpool, can I just... I hate Liverpool too, but can I just give credit to them? Because if they were 2-0 down and then I'm pretty sure we were tied it was tied on aggregate,
offside, yeah.
and they managed to come back and win 3-2. So it could have been easy for them to capitulate at that point as well. But it just shows big team mentality. They're a big club. They have history. They know what they're doing. They're comfortable in the Champions League, and they got the job done. Unlike the blue side of Manchester, yeah. But yeah, shout out to Liverpool for doing that, even though I hate them.
That's very nice of you. Let's go to the Prem now. Hey, Chelsea are in trouble, you know. I didn't deep it, you know. Hey, all right, your boys are coming. They're coming. They're not. Well, let me check. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up the table. Obviously, Chelsea have been on shocking form, but let's focus on Arsenal and the North London derby. How important is that game going to be? Because I feel like Arsenal have such big breathing space. I don't know if it's going to be as pivotal, but let me start with Carl. How important do you think that North London derby is going to be?
That's huge, you know, but in my opinion, not just for the fourth spot, even for Arsenal, you know, pushing for that third spot, you know, because in my opinion, I think Arsenal have probably secured the fourth spot. I think I can say now, unless something goes completely wrong. But in terms of pushing for Chelsea, yeah, Arsenal be driven like crazy than ever. And the thing is, the form they're on right now, they'll know that they can beat Tottenham. That's the thing. That's what they know. They know they can beat Tottenham. And I think they'll be more up for it, you know. Josh is trolling.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Come on now. Carry on, Carl. Sorry. Apologize, Josh, for interrupting Carl right there. That was very inconvenient of you.
Arsenal's run, to honest, it's been very good. And I said at the start of the year that Arsenal, they was the favourites, to honest, for fourth spot. When things started going well, that the flow that they're on, and when they are playing their game with Arteta's football and their players performing, you know, they're actually a threat, to honest. And there's a clear direction in the club right now, which is good to see. And some players that you wouldn't think have popped up like Nketiah. He's been popping up, you know, here and there. Like I wouldn't really put him up there as obviously not a top striker, but at the end of the day, he's performed when his teams needed him, and that's what it means. Honest, when you're fighting for top four, you can't be relying on the same players all seasons. At the start of the season, they had that Smith Rowe and the likes of that. But even now, he's not really. They've got new players that are popping up here and there, you know. So they're in a good space. At least it means that they're not relying on Saka as they would last season. That was the main problem last season. They're just relying on Saka. But this season, it's coming from a wide range, and I think Arteta knows that now. And even in the middle, like guys like El Neni is popping up. Where I don't respect him. I don't respect him as a footballer, but he's doing his thing when it needs to be done, and that's how they beat the teams that you know we didn't think they'd beat.
All right, how important would you say the North London derby is, like, in terms of setting the foundations for the top four? Would you say?
Yeah, I think since was it 2016 that we were last in the Champions League? I think this is probably our biggest game in the past 5 years or so. Yeah, completely like ignoring the FA Cup finals, even the Europa semi-finals. Like in the grand scheme of things, those games are irrelevant when you think about it, because in the progress for the club itself, the goal has always been to try and get back into the Champions League, where you know, we kind of we should be playing like, you know, based on our history and type of club that we are. Obviously, I know if we do not win this game, there's still a very good chance that we could still make, you know, Champions League football. But like Carl said, also just trying to push for the third spot as well, because I think Chelsea play before us. I think Chelsea played this Wednesday. So if Chelsea could even just drop any amount of points, then if we just win all our games, like that could be third place. And coming third out of like the expectations from the season would just be, you know, incredibly good. And then also just like, you know, clinching, confirming top four at White Hart Lane also is, you know, symbolic, you know, as an Arsenal fan, just being able to snatch that from Spurs, you know, at their home stadium. But yeah, I feel this top four finish is just really going to set us up for a lot of things. A summer transfer window is coming up. We know we're going to spend big. We know them, and just having Champions League football would just make that the icing on the cake, really. Like, and then players could also see like there's huge progress, there's an ambition from the club, and a lot of players would want to come to Arsenal this summer, essentially. But yeah, it's looking really good. I really, really, really do want us to win the game. At first, I was like, you know what, I'll take a draw, I'll take a but I think we should just definitely just go all out. Just 100% try and win that game and see what comes from it, to be fair. But Spurs are going to come out, which is really, really good. Because yeah, they have to win the game more than us. And Spurs are usually used to sitting back, which has kind of like covered up their bad defenders in some occasions. But them having to come out now, leaving those gaps in behind, we definitely need to be taking advantage of that and trying to win at Spurs. Yeah.
Denzel, not top four for you, man. So watching the two that could potentially get it, who you? I mean, Arsenal are clearly the favourites, but like, how important do you think that North London derby is for the top four? Would you say?
I think it still has some importance to it, but I think Arsenal have secured it, and they deserve it. They've definitely been the better team out of those two teams. Tottenham have been poor, but I don't know what it is with Tottenham. They're poor, but they get results. Arsenal play good football and they got results. Obviously, there was a point in time where I was a bit shaky and thought maybe it might swing the other way. But I think regardless of this result, Arsenal get top four. Who do Arsenal have as their last fixture though?
After Spurs, it's Newcastle away and Everton at home.
Oh, what, you have two fixtures after
Yeah,
that?
we still have two.
Yeah. So Newcastle
away and Everton home.
I don't see. Maybe Newcastle might give you a bit of trouble. Everton are kind of whack. But then again, if I feel like they've survived now, so
they're still in trouble.
You think so?
Yeah, everything is still in trouble, yeah. But by the final game, they probably would have survived, and that could be huge for us, if we don't get.
Well, like if they're still in that relegation, if the relegation battle goes to the final day, Everton are gonna give their all.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough.
Yeah,
it will be a tough game.
Which is why I really just want us to clinch it this Thursday and just forget about any of the, last two games, and then just kind of like maybe push.
Who do Tottenham have for their final two games?
They have Burnley and Norwich. Burnley are still in.
Oh yeah, that's two easy wins, I think.
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence for Burnley. I think Burnley could give them a game. But they probably would win that. But yeah.
But I think Arsenal will get top four. Yeah, good for them.
Carl,
they deserve it.
I don't want you to talk about Arsenal. I want you to talk about Chelsea. I think we have to have a conversation about what's going on with Chelsea. So before we get on with the things that's going off the pitch, because that's a bit more positive, let's focus on the pitch. Tell me, what do you think is the reason for this slump in form? Because it's been very concerning for a couple of months now. So I think it's obvious, but name some of the reasons, like even just player-wise, that you're seeing that is contributing to this.
Player-wise, first of all, laziness, lack of direction, lack of creative edge. The players don't seem up for it at all. I think since the Champions League exit, since then, we said before, it's been a downslope, a heavy downslope. And I don't think the players have any sorts of motivation at all. From the attacking edge, when you're at the top, you need to be aggressive. You need to be direct to the goal. The forwards, you can see the very slow pace of everything right now. The midfield is very slow paced. We're not Man City. We're not possession. We're not supposed to be a possession club. There's been too much reliance on wing backs scoring goals, defenders scraping goals here and there. It's not a good position you want to be in.
Man said there was so much disgust in his man's face. It was like, yo.
And then the thing is, I would get on to Lukaku, but he scored 2 goals. I can't be mad at him, to be honest. But I'll still have to speak on Lukaku, of course. It just hasn't been working at all. I have to question Tuchel, not his ability, but his his change management. Sometimes you have to know when to change things around, and I don't know if he's just waiting out till next season to change the formation around or try something new. But obviously the 3 at the back, the 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it, it's not working in terms of creativity in the team. And the attackers is appalling. It's appalling. Like we're a very, very, very average club, and the gap is increasing a lot more between Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea. It's substantial. I don't think we're barely a top four playing team right at the moment. We have to wait till next season. But yeah, no, it's just been players that just gone missing. To be honest, every player's gone missing. There's no consistency. I can't name a single player that's been very consistent. I guess you can argue that Mount had a decent season, but even like players that Mount, who was, according to people, are like best player of the season, it hasn't been great in the last few games. Even the midfield, Jorginho, Kante, they've had their off days, and it's not something that we used to see at the start of Tuchel's era. And even the centre backs, there's been some sloppy mistakes, like very, very, very poor mistakes, which we didn't used to see. And it's it's a bit worrying, because if Chelsea can't get replacements and some established centre backs, it could be a downturn, because something that we used to think was, the defense is so solid, we don't concede goals. I used to watch Chelsea games, and no, like, we wouldn't concede a single goal, and we're in this nonsense 5 at the back thing with Silva, Rudiger, and whoever. But now it's worrying, because it means that if we can't get a replacement for Rudiger, Azpilicueta, all these players, Christensen, we're gonna be screwed. You can't find 3 established centre backs in the same window. It's impossible. It's never been seen before, ever before. So yeah, I'm not mad at Tuchel, but at the end of the day, I questioned him, thinking it's not working. It hasn't been working all season, if we're being 100% honest. So is he going to change something? Is he going to try something new? Where's his direction? So yeah, I'm not impressed at all with the players. I think it's disgrace, to be honest. Some of the players that are not even just about the money and stuff, but these are big players who had big potential. The likes of Pulisic, huge potential, big money, big contracts, but underperforming. Ziyech underperforming. And we don't even need to go into the technical ability of some players. Werner, it just you've seen it. It's just eye test. It's just eye test, as you say, Josh. It doesn't take a genius to work out that these players are terrible right now.
No, I hear that, man. I do hear that. All right, would you put any blame on Tuchel at all for what's going on, or do you think he's doing the best that he can?
Yeah, not too much blame. I rate him highly, really highly. Probably definitely one of the best coaches in world football. And I think a lot of the players that he's working with in Chelsea, he met them there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players he's working with met them there. And I think that's always the problem with huge investment in like coaches that don't work out, and that's probably what's happened to Chelsea a lot of times in like recent history, where like they back a manager and he gets the signings he wants. They put so much money in. I'm talking about Lampard, that is, and the manager doesn't work, it doesn't work out with the manager, and then you're left with a bunch of players, and a new manager has to come in and fit those players in his own style, even if they don't match what he stands for, or like how playing styles and stuff like that. And he still, went on to win the Champions League with these players. So, that is enough credits on its own. This season, he signed Lukaku, was it? Yeah. And I think, I don't know, I feel the amount of money spent, in hindsight, it did look like a good enough signing. I definitely thought Lukaku would do way better than he did. I think everyone kind of is surprised by how he seriously underperformed. Although Lukaku was never really going to make the whole difference with the squad, I think there was always a couple gaps and a couple holes in the team per se. I've seen some Chelsea fans saying that he should be sacked. And I don't know, that's just really surprising to me. I think Abramovich has kind of created a culture in Chelsea where like as soon as a coach isn't doing good and relatively, because you're still third, you're still in the FA Cup final. So like once a coach isn't like winning the Premier League, a lot of Chelsea fans start calling for their head. I think Abramovich has kind of created that culture in Chelsea, which I don't really like that much. But yeah, I think this summer should be a really huge one for Chelsea, not even just for the upcoming seasons, but just for the future. I guess it'll kind of give you guys a look into how your owners kind of operate and how much they're really looking to invest in Chelsea. And I think you should probably have a good summer in terms of the signings you bring in. And you should also really focus on the people that you're letting go. And apparently I'm hearing that Chelsea are looking to let a lot of players go this summer. I think some players have even already agreed deals with some other clubs already. So it's just kind of like a refresh and just kind of making sure Tuchel gets like his players that fit his system, right signings and stuff like that. But I think he definitely could have still handled the season a bit better. I think Chelsea have really fallen apart. Like they should not even be in this top 4 race. They should have at least, crossed the 70-point mark at this point for sure. They should be definitely way, above the top 4 race. The fact that they've got dragged into this is just, it's quite a poor from Tuchel. But besides that, yeah, I still think he's definitely still a good coach and just needs to get backed. And yeah, next season should be exciting.
What about you, Denz? What do you make of the current situation at Chelsea?
I said when Abramovich left, you guys are on a downwards trajectory, unfortunately. Because you can't replace the guy. I feel like the off-field activity has affected their season a lot. And it's what are they gonna do in the summer transfer window? It's gonna be huge. It's gonna determine whether they finish in the top 4 or whether they're fighting for a top 4 place, whether they're fighting for Europa League. You don't know because you're losing basically your whole defense. You're losing Rudiger, Christensen, Azpilicueta, and I think Alonso's going as well. So that's 4 starters that you're losing. And I haven't seen you guys linked with anybody really. I think I saw a link with Pau Torres today that United and Chelsea were both linked with him. And I saw something about Koundé. Maybe you might go back in for him. But you need more than just that. That's the thing. If you're going to keep on playing this 3 at the back system or whatever system Tuchel wants to play, he normally likes to have 3 centre backs. So you're going to need to spend a lot of money. And I don't know if this new American Don has the juice that Abramovich has. Todd, what's it? How do you even pronounce his name? How do you pronounce it?
How do you pronounce his surname?
I just say like Bowley. I think Bowley, yeah.
Bowley. Todd Bowley. You don't even sound as threatening as Abramovich. Like Roman Abramovich. Todd Bowley. Come on, bro. Like, yes. You never know. He might invest a lot into the club. Maybe he might blind the people and invest heavily in the first window and then just be a prick like the other Americans that we see in the league. But yeah, you're going to have a big window. I feel like you need a striker as well. Lukaku has shown that he can't really lead the line. Werner can't lead the line. I saw you've been linked with Darwin Núñez. I've seen multiple clubs linked with him. If you guys get him, that might be a good signing for you. Personally, I don't really rate him too tough. But yeah, it's just a lot. And wingers as well. Like, I know you play wing backs, but I just feel like you don't have any like exciting wide players apart from Reece James. Obviously, he plays the wing back role. I don't know. There's a lot that needs changing.
I've seen a couple links with Usman
or Dembele.
Yeah,
that would be a good signing for you. I think it would be a good signing. It's just Callum Hudson-Odoi is just not that guy, as we can see. Ziyech, not that guy. Who are your other white players? Can't even remember them. Like Pulisic, not that guy, just American PR merchant. It's trash. You need a lot. There's a lot needs to be done. We'll see what happens in the summer transfer window, though.
So, Carl, tell me about Todd. What are you saying? You happy with that one?
The thing is, I'll never be happy because Abramovich, my guy's gone. I was rooting for this guy for too many years. I was a Abramovich fan. I was a fan of him more than any of these players ever. I'll be real. And he just can't come. I haven't been looking at too much, because then in the world, he's not going to be the same at all. So I haven't been looking at too much, But end of the day, the direction what they have on paper is always going to look good. But it's when things start going wrong, as we say, and when things start going to crunch time, is when we actually see the decision making. So I don't want to judge people too early, isn't it? Because end of the day, what he's put on paper and like investing in the club properly, like investing in the youth, investing in this new stadium potentially, which is important as well, because Chelsea Stadium right now is like, you can't really take them to that next level kind of thing right now because quite small. And some Premier League final game where they won the leagues on like his first day, become an owner, which is it's good to see. Obviously, people can just say it's PR, all this kind of stuff. Like maybe it is, fair enough. But it just shows that he seems to have some kind of care for the club. But at the end of the day, Abramovich was willing to die for the club, and that's not going to be the same. I guess it's more to it than money. Always more to the money because it's a consortium. So like there's a group of them together. So I guess they have a lot of money, more money than Abramovich probably would have had. But hopefully it's more than just business for them. You know, as Denzel said, like these Americans, like I don't know, hate on Americans, but you know, bit soft sometimes. They're just different. They're different. They're not football lovers, you know, and that's just the facts, you know. Like they can claim they are, but they're just not. Yeah, nah. So I don't know what to say about it. I don't want to judge him too early, you know. But it's not going to be the same. We'll see this summer, to be honest. We'll see this summer and see how his connection with Marina if she stays at the club, and even check, you know, making decisions for some of the transfers, you know. So we have to see. We have to see.
Yeah, but pretty much. And yeah, for really what we're looking for, the summer will show everything really.
Yeah.
Let's even talk about the summer and some summer targets and transfers right now. So the big one that's coming out today is Haaland to City. How much is the fee that they're saying?
It's release clause, so it's like probably like 70 really.
€5 roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Good though.
It's 5
But
million.
wages will be high, but very good though.
Yeah, agent fees and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the type of player that they need because I don't really think they don't have a player like him in their squad at all, apart from Liam Delap. But they don't have a player like that in their squad. That guy in the transition that's threatening, that can make those penetrative runs. I mean, they got Sterling who can do that, but yeah, Haaland's a different physical beast. Should we be worried about his injury record? Because people have been bringing that up a bit. Should there be a worry about his injuries as well?
Nah. Pep doesn't overplay players. Pep doesn't really overplay anyone. He can have the guy can have Messi in his team. He still won't play him the full 90 every game, like guaranteed. I don't think he'll rinse Haaland the way people think he is. He'll bring him in, will ease him into the squad nicely, and make sure he's good. Like he's a very smart guy with player management. Like there's never been a player over the years I can really think of that has been completely rinsed apart too much. Aguero had his spells of injury here and there, but you know I think Haaland would be good, like young threat. And he's always makes a way, you know, and he the goals make up for it. Like he's them little spells that he has when he's on his form, you know. He's very good.
All right, what do you make of the Haaland signing?
Good signing, I feel. It's one of those ones that you can never really tell, I feel. Obviously his track record and everything would point at him coming to the league and just start banging in goals. There's obviously going to have to be a transition because it would be his first time playing in this league. And but I do still feel the Premier League is a very difficult league in comparison to other leagues, just based on physicality and the pace of the game as well. Good thing is that Haaland is a very physical player, and he's also a quite fast player. So he does have power and pace, which is really going to be helpful for him in the league. So I probably think he'll adapt good. He's always, you know, looking to get in behind, you know, and try and, you know, put the balls in the net essentially. Yeah, his injury record though, I think they might be a slight worry regarding that. Because his injury record at Dortmund does not look really good, and the fact that the league is more physical, it could potentially lead to him, you know, being injured more times and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting signing, especially because of how young he is as well. And yeah, I definitely think it would be something that we should kind of look forward to. But yeah.
Denzel, are you worried? Are you worried?
Worried? No, it's Man City, like, because they're already good, so they're only gonna get better. It's not people saying, "Oh, it's gonna ruin the league." Nah, not really. Like, it's a good signing. I think because it's Man City, it makes it an excellent signing. Actually, any other team, there'll be a lot more question marks surrounding the transfer. But with Man City, you know you're gonna score goals. You know you're gonna be given a lot of chances. So it's the perfect scenario for him. Obviously, he didn't duck the Premier League test, which I respect, like certain other man. You don't want to come around England. But yeah, he made the right decision. He picked the best team in England, arguably, at the moment. And they'll suit his play style as well. It's just whether he takes away from their fluidity, because of City have a very fluid front line. and a very fluid system just in general. Like you can pretty much place most players in different positions. But now they have a focal point, so it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to that. But I feel like he'll do well. Like it's a good signing from City.
And you know what? There's another interesting transfer that could be coming from Germany now, and that is there's a Sadio Mane link. I've heard Sadio Mane and Gnabry links, but I'm hearing Sadio Mane to Bayern, and if they lose Lewandowski and they bring in Mane, I wouldn't be mad at that.
It's not happening though.
There's no chance.
There's no chance that happens because of how much do you think? How long does he have on his contract? Firstly, that's my question.
Next year.
It's up next year.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that suits there because the Bayern don't spend big.
It's true.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
but if he has 1 year left on his contract,
it's probably going to look like about maybe 50 million, most likely.
Do you think? But Gnabry's contract's running out as well. That could easily. Obviously, how old is Gnabry?
25, I think.
Because obviously the age is going to play a factor. Because Mane's 30 now, isn't he?
He is. Gnabry's 26. Mane is. Well, Gnabry's 27 in July actually, and Mane is 30.
It's 31, yeah, 30, yeah.
I mean, yeah, value for money as well still there. I think that's a possible deal if Mane is not willing to sign a new contract.
So Gnabry to where? To Liverpool?
Yeah.
Nah, Liverpool.
Liverpool don't really need.
They don't need Gnabry. They would even take Gnabry, I feel.
Yeah.
You don't think?
Nah.
That's not a good swap deal for them if you think about it.
Before as well, because now Klopp is using Mane as a striker, and Gnabry is not going to be a striker for Liverpool. Wouldn't have the same tools. So they wouldn't exchange for that. If they were going to exchange anything, it could probably be this guy, Lewa, but
this guy, you
know. But I don't know how that will work out, to be fair. But yeah, they'll probably need Lewa more than they'll probably even need Gnabry, I feel. Because right now Mane does play strike for them, and like they already have Diaz as the left winger. Don't think they'll really need Gnabry, to be fair. And swap deals rarely happen nowadays, if you actually think about it. Mostly people just pay for players or like work out deals, installments and stuff like that. You rarely see swap deals happen, I feel.
No, that's true. But I would like to see Mane at Bayern. I don't know why. I just thought just kind of a nice, good transfer, innit? Do we see the thing about Pogba?
It would be exciting.
That has been debunked. That's not happening.
Well, Pogba, innit?
Pogba to see it's not happening. It's not.
Yeah, I never thought it would. I don't think Pogba
wants to
stay. I don't think Pogba wants to stay in England. I think that's the last thing.
Yeah, I think he'll go PSG or Real Madrid.
Same.
Go Juventus, man. He should go Juventus. Be the face of that new.
They don't. I don't think they have the. They don't have the finances to pay for his wages and stuff.
Who wants to Allegri? My goodness.
I know.
He played on the Allegri though.
I know. I'm saying not this current Allegri.
Yeah, I know Allegri isn't that guy. They probably should have even kept Pirlo, but
probably.
Yeah.
And if we're real, Pogba's his agent will definitely want him to go into a team where he's automatically winning trophies. If you're honest, I don't think there shouldn't be a risk. He's late in his career, you know. So he's got not that he wants a stat pad, but it'll be good to be in a.
He wants the stat pad.
We can call it that. To be fair, like at the end of your career, it makes sense as well. Obviously you have to play.
I think the PSG one makes sense.
Yes, it's home.
Yeah, French. Like, I mean, French people obviously love him. He would stat pad all the titles in the league and possibly win Champions League someday.
I don't think he'll win champs, but I don't think PSG will win in champs anytime soon.
A chance, I guess, but I get him, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
he could replace. No, you can't really replace him because they got Messi and Neymar anyway. I was saying like another big name to replace Mbappe, innit? Like just the big profile.
I have a quick question. Do you think he goes where Mbappe goes, or stay? Like if Mbappe stays at PSG, because imagine a Pogba and Mbappe link up would be a very dangerous link up.
It would be, but I don't think
Real Madrid would. I don't think Pogba would. I don't know. I think Real Madrid are kind of fine on the midfield departing.
Yeah.
Well, they'll
I don't
get
think Real Madrid even want him that bad. I think PSG would really
They're
want him.
interested, but I think PSG would kind of want him more, most likely.
Yeah.
And PSG will probably offer him more money as well. So yeah.
I don't like that midfield though. What would their midfield be?
Verratti, Pogba.
Verratti, and then I'm just the holding guy in there. So now Danilo Pereira,
It's kind of that's mid. That's not amazing.
Gay. I don't know. They do need to get another midfielder to get Pogba. PSG never really been a fan of the midfield across they've never really signed good midfield.
No, they used to have a good midfield. They used to have Matuidi, Verratti.
That was a good midfield.
That was a good midfield. Yeah.
They have Matuidi now in his prime.
Pochettino is staying in PSG. So.
It's either him or Conte. Or maybe if they can get Zidane. Zidane's a dream for them, I think.
I don't think Conte should leave Spurs, you know. I think to be honest, Conte is my second favorite manager of all time. I don't think he should leave Spurs.
He doesn't like being there, though.
He doesn't. He doesn't at all.
At some point.
Yeah.
He doesn't like being that Spurs.
But you know what it is? Like Dan said previously, PSG is a poison chalice. Like, he goes there, if he doesn't win a Champions League, his job's on the line. Like, he should probably just stay at Spurs if he's being real with himself.
PSG in general, man. It's just anybody that goes there, like you're saying, you're just setting up to fail because it just makes no sense, that club. But this summer's going to be interesting. There's a lot of players about that are going to be moving. I'm hearing Dybala might be going Inter, which I don't really get. I imagine they'll probably get rid of Lautaro then if they're buying Dybala.
Yeah, I've heard Arsenal links with Lautaro. I'm not really the biggest fan of him, but yeah.
Nah. You man are interested in like what's your man Abraham? Those are better than him. Those guys are much better than him.
Abraham will cook out Arsenal, I think.
I wanted him to come. I wanted him to come last summer. It's kind of funny, but yeah, I wanted him to come. He would have had a really, really good team.
Let me make his move.
Well, I think so as well.
I can't believe Chelsea fans really backed Werner over Tammy, bro. It didn't make sense back then. Doesn't make sense now, bro. It just never made sense. Timo was never good. He's very good, obviously, making those penetrative runs in behind, but Tammy can offer that. Better technically, physical presence. Damn, man. Like, Chelsea don't utilize their academy, and it's actually shocking, bro. Look how they let go of Tomori, Guehi.
The Tomori one is so shocking. He's about to win a title now.
That's a stinker. That was a stinker.
That was a really shocking one. That was a really shocking one.
And now they have a centre back problem. They let go of Guehi.
Yeah,
bro. That was a stinker.
Hopefully they can learn from it. But let's see. I think that's it. I was going to do the VVD thing, but maybe another time. But yeah, I think that's it, people. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with your people. Hit the like button, hit the bell notification so they're always aware of when we're posting. Love to all the new subscribers. Peace, 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 peace.